right now is a person who has just delivered a speech about half an hour ago or so. We thought we would have him in the previous crossing, but we do have him now. He really made a good impression with a very firm speech, Minister, dare I say. It seemed that every word, every comma and every full stop in the speech you made was actually, very intentional.
Well, it comes from the heart. It shows the commitment of an ANC government to rid of our society of crime and corruption, but more particularly to ensure that we entrench all the institutions that will make it possible for good governance in our country so that we can deliver not only good but better services to the people of this country. Whenever we look on television, you see protests around the country. It's a result of some officials, a human factor, who, despite the good policies that we have, they do things their own way without dignity, without integrity, thereby letting our people in the lurch.
You made a statement, Minister, which I don't think anyone will disagree with you on. South Africa is a better place today than we found it in 1994. But I guess the question or the contention is always on whether it could not, in other words, we shouldn't be having a better country than we are having. And with that, the government's complicity in actually making it less of a better, if there's anything like that, country than it probably should have been.
Definitely. When you look at South Africa of 1994, let's look at housing. There was a backlog of about 1.2 million houses in 1994, but in 2012, more than 3.3 million homes has been built by an ANC government. In 1994, about 175,000 students, African students, were enrolled at university. Today, more than 750,000. That's a major strides that we are making in South Africa. The resources are there. In the last 5 years, we've spent almost 1 trillion rand on infrastructure, on transportation, and other basic services such as ICT and energy. The point we are making that if all those resources can be optimally utilized with good officials not being diverted through corruption or other means, South Africa will even be much better. That's why going to the future with the National Development Plan Vision 2030, we do believe that tomorrow will be better than today.
But could we not have done better? In other words, would you accept that the government could have done better than it is doing or has done so far?
We could have done better if there were no rotten apples amongst ourselves, but we take punitive measures against those who are found with their hands on the till. For an example, I've indicated that in the last financial year, more than 2,000 private sector people have been convicted in the specialized commercial courts throughout the country. About 192 officials in the Justice, Crime Prevention and Security Cluster officials have been arrested and convicted with a conviction rate of almost 72%, which indicates that where we found corrupt officials on the wrong side of the law, we leave no stone unturned in dealing with them firmly and ruthlessly.
Lastly, Minister, and very, very briefly, you commended the public protector for standing her ground. A lot of people would actually say we do not see the support, in other words, the state giving her, at least publicly, as much support as she perhaps deserves.
Well, the public protector is created by the Constitution, Chapter 9. It is the ANC government that instigated the creation of the Office of the Public Protector to protect the public interest in our country. All the reports that the public protector since 1994 has produced in government, all of them have been accepted. The public protector herself has indicated the relentless support that we give her, even in terms of the budget. But as you know, with the global economic environment, we cannot always get 100%. Even our own budget of the Department of Justice in the last year was slashed by more than 1.7 billion rand because all of us have to do a haircut. But overall, government is fully behind the public protector.
Minister, we run out of time. Thank you very much for talking to us. Well, Minister Jeff Radebe, the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Development, sharing his views based, of course, on a speech he delivered a little earlier. It's back to you, Elvis.
Thank you so much.